saying the kind of love that Jesus has, and if you're willing to die for your brothers and sisters in Christ, I want to step out on a little bit of limb, and I want y'all to be careful how you take this. We're supposed to love everybody. We hate the evil in people because we know the devil is fooling them when they're doing wrong and living wrong. But we're supposed to love everybody. A lot of times this Bible says brother and brethren. When it says that, a lot of times it means Christian brothers and sisters. It's not talking about the other ones. But I know in my heart that Jesus wants us to love everybody. How are we going to build the kingdom of God if we don't love the wicked ones? Or the ones that are acting wicked or living wicked? Okay? It's not them. It's the devil in them. It's him running the show. All it is. We have to love them. I know that in my heart. We have to all, if we want to do our best, we should actually be willing to die for them too. When a soldier goes and fights in a war, I'm not going to get on the subject of war, that's another tricky subject. But when a person goes, a soldier goes and fights in a war, he's not willing to die for and fight for just the Christians of America. He's dying for all of us because we're all going to be able to keep that freedom, the one that the soldiers are helping bring. So us, as Christians, it's saying that's a sign that if we're that kind of person, that's a sign to other people. That's a Christian there. They'll do whatever it takes to help somebody, whether that somebody is a bum or a holier than thou that's never missed a day of church. Let's go to verse. Let me finish 7:18. 7:18 is telling us, let's prove our love with our deeds, not with our words. Let's just don't say we love everybody. Let's prove it with our deeds. He's saying that let's not sit back and live real comfortable. You know, this world has not been so hard on us. We're sitting back and we're living comfortable. Let's not do that if we know a brother and sister is in need and they're struggling. They can't get nothing paid and they're not. Now, I'm not talking about people that go and just throw their money away, who drink their money up, who smoke their money up, who drug their money up, who don't try to use the brain that God gave them to pay their bills correctly. Everybody, the Bible says we're not supposed to be a burden on another man. That's true, we're not. This is talking about when people are in need, when something happens to them and they are in need. We're not supposed to sit back living so comfortable and say, well, I got mine, I'm good. If you have some extra, help somebody. Help somebody with it. Don't be selfish. Because God's going to pay you back. It may not be in money, but a lot of times it is in money. But it may not be in money. It may be in blessing. I've got, some of the blessings that I got were some words from friends and words from family members. That was the biggest blessings I've received. It's saying that's another way that if we're going to abide in selfishness, if we're going to agree to abide in selfishness, well then that's showing that we don't have the love of God in us. We may not be really saved if we don't want to help people. Again, that can be a certain problem in your life that you need to work on. Some people are scared to spend money. I get scared to spend money sometimes. I do. Because you go without. You know, and you try to learn your lessons. And you say, all right, I'm just trying to hang on to a little bit, you know, make sure we get everything paid. That's all. But that's when you make a decision. Something happens and you see somebody and you know it. It's like it wasn't their fault. It wasn't their fault. Let's say a tornado comes through. Let's say the car just broke down. What because they didn't put oil in it? It's an old car. It's all they could afford. You go ahead and you try to help them. You say, well, Lord, I was trying to hang on this for us, you know, but I guess I got to help him. He's going to pay you back. Our Father watches out. There's nothing we do, good or bad, that He don't know about. And it seemed like in my life there's nothing good that I do that he don't pay me back for. Let's go to verse 19 through 24. And hereby we know that we are of the truth, and shall assure our hearts before him. For if our heart condemn us, God is greater than our heart, and knoweth all things. Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then have we confidence towards God. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight. And this is his commandment, that we should believe on the name of his Son Jesus Christ, and love one another. And he gave us commandment. And he that keepeth his commandments dwelleth in him, and he in him. And hereby we know that he abideth in us by the Spirit which he hath given us. Our actions will show that we belong to the truth. And therefore we won't feel guilty when we come to God our Father. Whenever we come to him in prayer and we ask for things, we ask him to comfort us, to comfort people. We ask him to be with a situation in our lives. We can come before him with confidence. I've seen this happening with me. I would have, let me say, a bad week, if you will. I had a bad week. I wasn't doing real good that week. Slipped up more than normal. And then I would be saying a prayer and I would feel guilty. This is what that's talking about. It's what that's talking about. I felt guilty. And I said, Lord, I know I shouldn't ask anything of you, but I got to. Because I wouldn't do good last week. That's what that's talking about right there. The more that you strive to do good, and the more that you make yourself do good and stuff, the more confident you're going to be when you go to him and say, you don't have to say, well, I've been doing this and doing this. Don't say it like that. You just come to him and ask him. He is your Father. Remember that first verse? We are his children. You come to your Father. You ask your Father. He knows. I'm not going to say it's God's job, but an earthly daddy. I tell my kids, that's my job. That's my job. Come to me. Bring your troubles to me. No, I may not help you, but bring them to me anyway. You know, let me see if I can help. I can't be as bold as to say that our answered prayers are determined solely on our obedience. I don't think that's the right way to say that. But I do know this Bible is telling us, God's word right here is telling us that the more you do better, the more you strive, I give you this commandment, he said, I give it to you. Love thy brothers and your sisters, love them as you love yourself. As long as you are doing that, the more confident you will be in coming to the Father. You can also look at it this way. If you have a rambunctious, always getting in trouble teenager, and then you have another teenager that just seems to take care of stuff and all. They just, their grades are better. They put the gas back in the car when they borrow it, stuff like that. Who are you probably going to let borrow the car? Who are you going to want to let borrow the car? When that other one comes, you're going to try to veer away from it a little bit maybe. You think about it like that, kind of. If you keep trying, if your Father sees you trying, the more you try, I believe, the more he's going to help. I'm not saying it's based on all our obedience, okay? Because sometimes our fathers will give us things for his reasons only, reasons that we know nothing about. And I love this part right here. It says, but even when we do feel guilty and our hearts are condemning us, let's remember our God is greater than our heart, and he knows all things. That means he knows what's really in your heart. He knows our shame. He knows it when you come to him and you're ashamed of things. He knew what I meant that day I come to him and I said, I shouldn't even ask you anything. And let's go back to that first verse. It says, behold, He's our Father and we are His children. I hope y'all have noticed that there was 3 things out of that. If you're a child of God, it's actually supernatural power. Literally, supernatural power. The power of God through the Holy Spirit that comes and helps you with your life. You can have victory over sin. The sin in your life, the stuff that you know is wrong and all that. If you're a child of God, you can have sin over that. He will help you. There's another thing, the love for others. When you get saved and you ask your Father to help you love people more, help you to have the kind of love that you know that you need to have now for others, this happened with me. That's why I'm saying it like this. This happened with me. Literally with 2 ladies. I asked God to help me. I said, they irritate me bad. But I said, Brother Arnie told me I got to do something with this. So I'm coming to you, Father. The next thing I knew, y'all looked around and the ladies didn't bother me no more. I love them. I love them now. I started loving them then. He will supernaturally, I'm not kidding, He will supernaturally put love in your heart for people that you used to not care about. And there's another thing, that confidence thing that it was trying to show us in this lesson. That the better we are, the more confident you will feel when you go to God in prayer and you say, I got to get this mess straightened out, Lord. I do. I got to get it straightened out. I'm going to just say it. I got to go to a funeral this last week, Tuesday or Wednesday, I forget, one of my aunts. And the man, I got up and I tried to give not a message, but a short message about how our spirit lives on. The Bible, tells us that our flesh is carnal, our flesh is temporary, but our spirit is eternal. It's going to live somewhere. It's going to go to God, and it's going to get judgment, and it's going to live somewhere. Okay, I was trying to get that apart, and I didn't think I felt like I didn't do a very good job at it. But you know what, my cousin or my second cousin, everybody would be anyway. A younger man named Jeff Buffington got up, and he read a real pretty poem that he had wrote for his aunt. And I'm sure a lot of people were thinking, not sissy, but how tender-hearted he was to be a grown man from the words in that poem. But you know what he said right after it? I almost stood up and clapped my hands. I did. He said, if you do not know the Lord, you need to come up here. We got a preacher right here. He's pointing at the other preacher. He said, we got a preacher right here and we can get it done now. And I thought, how bold of him to stand up and say that. He just went right to it. And I know that there was a lot of people in there thinking he was a little bit too tender-hearted to be a grown man, but he wasn't. He loves everybody. He wanted everybody to know they can come get saved right then, because we're not promised tomorrow. And I'll tell y'all, if you do not know for sure, you can have an accident out here. And if you are not saved, you will not go to heaven. That's God's rule. That's God's rule. That's why it's so important that we literally tell people, you have to get serious sometime or another about this stuff. If you wait too long, my daddy waited till he was 81, 82 years old. That was a big gamble. He loved to gamble, and he did. He hit the jackpot, though. He got saved out here. But we don't need to do that. He would tell you right now, if he could come back, he would tell you, don't you dare be gambling like that. You give that gambling up.